What's up, YouTube? I'm going to do a quick weekly review for you guys. Just want to break down any trades that I took or any potential setups that could have been there that I may have missed, or even some trades that I just kind of let go without me because of it didn't check off some boxes for me. So we'll go start on Sunday, going into Monday. Slow grind up throughout. 9:30 opens right here. Runs higher, and then it looks like 10:45 we tap into an order block on the 15-minute. We get our soup right here. Put this in replay mode. Now this trade did work out in hindsight, but this is a trade that I would not take personally, because if I'm going to front run a new hourly open or a new 4-hour open, I require that the manipulation or at least a double purge happens inside of the macro window. So you can see here, we purged the 10:30 high once at 10:41, again at 10:45, and then again at 10:48, but we never got it in the macro. So this was a disengaged trade for me. I did not take this one for that exact reason. So let's continue through the day and the week. That was pretty much it for me. There was no trade to be made that day particularly, or a quality trade at least. Now the next day we do have a 9 a.m. open low soup. If you take the opening price and try to line your breaker up with the opening price of that candle, you can see here you have a breaker right here after the soup. Also lines up with the time base change in the state of delivery. Now this is not a valid breaker until we close above this high, which we get right here. Stop at the low, then you can target 2R based on your stop, which would be right here. So there's one trade. All right. Next trade, same day. You could have gotten a reversal on this day at 10:45. Soup right here into a 15-minute order block. Put this in replay mode again. And as you can see here, we get a manipulation in the macro, a double purge right here. Now if we look at the opening price as well of that candle, right here, opening price, you can see we have a breaker block right here with a, so once we close beneath this low, that validates our breaker entry. Stop at the high. A little bit of a gruesome hold, but in due time, you do get your 2R out of this trade. So let's move on to the next trade. Looks like there was one right here. Discount of this price leg up. Soup. Well, mark out the opening price of the souping candle. All right, you get your breaker here. Confirmation there. Stop at the lows. And then target 2R based on that. Let's see if we get it. Speed this up a bit. Another gruesome hold. Now, one thing I will note, if I'm this close to taking profit on my trade, I will move my stop to break even. So this would be a break even trade for me. The only time I move my stop to break even is when I'm very, very close to my TP. Otherwise, I let it play out. And eventually you do get the 2R. You never get tagged at break even. It is a very long hold, but sometimes that is the way of the market. So let's continue from here. I don't trade this time. All right, you have CPI come out on Wednesday. CPI creates our range. 9 a.m. comes around. Opening price. Drop down to the 15-second. So in theory, if we take out data lows, in theory we are going to try to spool towards data highs. That's your next draw on liquidity. So you can see here, you don't have a valid breaker until up here, which is also fine. Entry. Stop at the low. The souping candle's low. Very important. And then you can target 2R based on that. So make sure you adjust your risk and contract sizes. Not your risk. Your risk should always stay the same dollar amount. Adjust your contract sizing to fit the stop loss placement. But as you can see, the bigger the manipulation leg, then the more you're going to get out of your trades. So the bigger the manipulation, the bigger the distribution. So there goes a trade right there. Now, in real time, if I'm watching this day, I'm drawing out my fib right here. So now we're in EQ of this price leg up. So now I'm looking for a soup of this low. We don't get it here. That's okay. I'll let it run without me, and I'll wait for the next setup. So we put in a new swing point. Swing low, swing high. Now I have a new EQ to play with. All right, we get that. Now I'm going to wait for a soup. There goes the soup. Opening price. Is right here. Breaker block up here with closure above that swing point. Nothing yet. There it goes. So, you know what, we'll just buy here. Stop loss at the lows. Target 2R based on the stop. And let it play out. And there it goes. Okay, next trade. The draw on liquidity is still intact. So up until we hit that draw, I would only be looking for longs. This is a little, not the cleanest. We have a new price leg right here. EQ. Let it come down into there. You also have this order block if you're looking for a key level. You get your soup. Go down the 15-second. Before we do that, mark out the opening price of the 15-minute souping candle. So you have that right there. What do you have? Breaker right here that aligns with the opening price. Entry there. You can wait for a retest if you prefer. That's fine too. And then target 2R based on this. This one, you would have probably ended up just closing out your position because we're past that 410 threshold that most prop firms allow you to trade in. Now, if you want to hold it longer, or you can hold it longer, then eventually it does, I believe, get to TP. But this would have been just a closure, maybe a 1R trade, right around there. All right, let's go back. The next day, Thursday, no quality setups for me to take here. I was actually flat this entire day, so I didn't take anything that day. And then Friday, there was a couple of valid setups to take. So I wanted to show you guys this 145 candle right here. So it dots all the lines. We get a closure above some old highs. So we're getting our little double purge / fake market structure shift. But what's important here is I disengaged on this trade because I did not get a macro manipulation and or double purge. So we purged the previous candle's high at 148, but we never double purged inside of the macro. So I deemed this high low probability to hold. So I anticipated that it was going to get ran again. And what happened? Exactly that. So now we're opening up a new 4-hour candle. So for XX15, I normally don't trade XX15 unless it is aligning with a 4-hour open. So we'll run this. Okay, new candle opens. We also get the opening price flip. Breaker block right here. Sponsorship by swing low, so closure beneath that low. Entry here. Stop at the high. And then you target 2R. So this is a quick trade because you only have a 5.5 point stop loss based on your entry. But if you're still risking the same amount per trade dollar wise, then what you need to do is just increase your contract sizing because you're still risking the same amount. It just doesn't matter. You just need to take more or take less on this trade. And there goes your 2R. Right there. So 2R doesn't mean, hey, I'm going to risk $400 with a 20 point stop loss to take 40. No, I'm risking 5.5 points on a trade like this, so I really need to take 11 points with my 2R. Or to get to 2R, I just adjust my contract sizing accordingly. Now, you can see here, we're still pretty bullish on the day. Where do we reach into? EQ. Not quite there. Here comes your soup. Right there. Important to note, this is an XX45 candle, but where does the double purge happen? Inside of the macro. Macro manipulation. What do you get here? You get a breaker block. Closure above that high. Validates the breaker. Stop at the low. Adjust your contract size based on that stop loss. And then you don't need to take as much. You can't anticipate a 5 point stop loss to yield you 300 points. It just doesn't make sense. So, another gruesome hold here. Then eventually you get your TP. So you take your 2R there. And that's pretty much it. That's all I saw for this week, including some of the trades that I took. Or that last week. So that's pretty much all I took and all I saw for the week. So as always, if you guys have any questions, comment down below. Thanks.